I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. A lot of stuff. A lot of stress. A lot of letdowns. A lot of breakdowns, physically, mentally, literally. I've had illnesses, sicknesses. I've had women do the most horrendous shit to me, cheat on me, lie, take me to court. I've had bad parents. I've had dysfunctional family issues. I've had poverty issues. Again, personal illnesses. All kinds of stuff happened to me in my life, right? Why do I say that? I say that because it shows I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of experience with a lot of different things. And, at the end of the day, I never quit. At the end of the day, I could have committed suicide. I could have, there were many times where I had choices to do something drastic to somebody else or to some certain scenario. And oftentimes I question why me, there's really no answer to that. I don't know, if there is such a thing as fate, if there is such a thing as, the gods smiling on some people or not. A lot of it is biology, a lot of it is circumstance, a lot of it is dumb luck. Some people are just born lucky, and that maybe their genetics are better than other people, they're better looking than other people. If you're born good looking, you're going to have a lot better life, period, right? Of course, women can't even objectively look at that. They act like their good looks are some kind of accomplishment that they did when really they were just born lucky, right? The cells and proteins and amino acids came together to make up your body makeup, your body chemistry, and you got lucky. You got luck of the draw. I think guys realize this a lot more than girls. Guys realize, yeah, I'm fucking lucky. I got born lucky. I was born with good looks. But I think women, they act like, because of the brainwashing from feminism, they act like it's some kind of personal accomplishment. Like, I'm a goddess, I deserve this. Like you're just good looking, you're just lucky. That's all. You didn't do anything. You didn't accomplish anything. That's another thing. I've spent years and years and years applying certain skills. Played basketball for many years. Wanted to be a writer for many years. I made hip hop for about 6 or 7 years. Made a lot of great songs. Nobody ever listened to them, but I feel like I made some great songs. I am a hard worker, but unfortunately, like, a lot of that doesn't translate into success. It doesn't translate into success with women, or success in the modern world, or success financially, success materialistically, right? And unfortunately, we live in a cold world. We live in a cold world that all that really matters is the outward things. People don't look on the inside. Love is a very selfish thing. Like, love is supposed to be selfless. Love is supposed to, of course, what is love? What is love between a man and a woman, right? What is really love between a man and a woman? Well, obviously a big one is attraction, right? But we know, as red pill men, that women have different attraction triggers, right? Women have different attraction triggers than men. Men are solely based on physical. And then, of course, we also want a woman with a good personality. She's submissive, she's kind and soft, right? So we're physical as well as intrinsic, and that's about it. We don't require women to have money. We don't require women to have outward success. We don't really even require women to be intelligent. But women do, and that's in addition to being physically good looking, physically fit, as well as having a good personality. So the standards that women have compared to the standards that men have, there's no comparison. Women have astronomical standards compared to men's standards. And you know, a lot of what women bring to the table, they didn't really work for. You know, a guy who's not great looking can still get away with, you know, getting a good looking woman if he has a lot of resources. And that's a weird thing. And it's something that that's probably been one of the main central themes of my channel. Is just the weirdness that, you know, therein. What is my answer? I think that we should look for intrinsic value. I think we should look for character value. And I think we should treat love. I think we should study love. You know, I think we should study love. And what is love? And you know, the Bible has a good definition of love. The actual old school classic marriage vows, there's some real good hints in there as to what love is. You know, suffering through thick and thin, suffering through rich and poor, suffering through sickness and in health, right? Or I should say loving through suffering and loving, because if you really love somebody, you know, you'll suffer with that person. But the moment that, you know, you might claim you love somebody, but the moment that circumstances change, the moment that hardships, a little bit of hardships come, you know, you run for greener pastures. And this is what many young women are doing. So with that said, what I really want to talk about in this video today, probably one of the longest introductions I've ever done right there. What I really want to talk about is when her friends and family don't like you. And it's one of the biggest kick in the pants that I've ever experienced. And I talk about this from time to time in my, my videos. But I always mention this song by the Spice Girls. It's a stupid song. It gets stuck in your head, you know, like all the 90s chorusy songs, right? It's that lover song. If you want to be my lover, you got to get down with my friends, right? Well, as stupid of a song as that is, there's actually a profound message in there, and there's a profound truth in there. And that is that, you know, women are social beings. Women are social creatures. And they want men to be acceptable to their friends and family. Meaning they want to take a man home. We always hear this saying, oh, she's a girl you can't take home to mama, right? Well, actually, I would say the opposite is true. I would say women want to take men home more than men want to take women home. Not to say that men don't bring women home, because it's a tradition, right? It's a social norm or a social more to, visit your in-laws, bring your wife or husband to your parents and talk and blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's an American tradition, American culture, something that I never really knew about, because I didn't grow up having quality parents. My parents were dysfunctional. My father was an alcoholic. He left when I was 12. That was that, right? I didn't really have that family. I didn't really know what love was. My parents didn't share love. I never saw that between my parents. So that was not something that was normal for me. So I was kind of a rogue kid in that I sort of raised myself. I didn't have this family social structure. I had a family. I got brothers and sisters, but it wasn't normal. It was dysfunctional. It wasn't the worst. I got a nice sister. I got, my brother is kind of cool. I got I got an older brother who's really cool. Older brother, I should say. So I'm somewhat lucky in that I've got some cool siblings who have helped me out a lot in my life. Or I should say I'm very lucky, because some people don't have that. Many people, unfortunately, many kids grow up just with shit family. And family is important, I will say that. So I will say that, insofar as meeting family is concerned, women, I wouldn't say that this is a bad thing. I wouldn't say that meeting family and, trying to impress her friends and her family per se, quote unquote, on the outside is such a bad thing, because family is great. I believe family. I believe in traditional values. I really do. The problems that I have with marriage and traditional values is just everything I talk about in my videos. Men are manipulated by women. Women divorce men all the time. Marriages don't work out. Kids grow up messed up. Blah, blah, blah. Now, this does matter with the woman, you know, like, does she want you to go meet her family? Because that might be an indication that she's a quality girl. If she wants you to go meet her family, maybe, right? But it might not as well, okay? So I've always got this one shining example of a girl, and she's probably the inspiration for 85 to 90% of my vlogs, my videos. Just the messed up shit that she did and all the red pill, you know, negative truths that I had to learn through her, through dating her. And she was one of these girls who wanted to bring me to her friends and family. However, in addition to that, she was still fucked up. She was still cheating on me. She was still a slut. She was still a liar, still a manipulator, but she still wanted me to meet her family. That's how fucked up women today are. So, like I said, there's that song with Fergie. I think it's Fergie who sings it, or I'm not sure. Spice Girls, right? I'm not sure who sings that hook. But if you want to be my lover, you got to get down with my friends. It's true. Women want you to be cool with their friends and family because they're social beings. But that doesn't mean that still doesn't mean she's a quality girl. And here's the thing. So what I really want to talk about is the heart of this video that I want to talk about is when her friends and family basically reject you, right? So I'll just talk about what happened with me as kind of a reference point. So what happened with me was I was dating this girl, and like I said, she's the inspiration for, I'd say, 85 to 90% of my vlogs. All the shit that she did was textbook toxic female, textbook, all the stuff we talk about in the red pill, textbook, right? However, in addition to being a slut, in addition to being a cheater, in addition to being a liar, manipulator, gaslighter, narcissist, succubus, you name it, because she was all these things encapsulated into one, and she also had qualities. She also was a sweet girl. She also was kind of sexy and cute. She also had a fun personality, which is why she was able to hurt me so much, okay? But during the time that we dated, she brought me around her friends. And she never really brought me to her family, not quite, but she tried to bring me around her friends. And her friends didn't like me. They didn't accept me. I made a bad first impression with one of her friends, and my first impression with her sister wasn't great. Maybe some things that I did sort of messed it up, but I just want to talk about what happens when they don't accept you. Because here's what happened with me. Basically, it swayed her decision. It made her dump me, swayed her ultimate decision whether or not she was going to be with me, because her friends and family didn't accept me, and they vehemently didn't accept me. Like, they thought I was a loser. I think her sister thought I was ugly. I think she thought I could do better. She thought her sister could do better physically, and maybe that's true. Her sister was sort of an ugly duckling in that, you know, she started out really not attractive at all, and in middle school and high school, and then eventually in college she bloomed and she got kind of sexy, but she didn't really realize it by the time she met me, and she was a little sheltered. So as she was dating me, she sort of got more confidence. She got out there a little more, and she started to realize that guys were interested in her. And then I think at a certain point she just was like, oh, wait a minute, I can get better than this guy. But during that time, she did love me. During that time, she was sort of infatuated with me. She was, and it was deep. It was kind of real. It wasn't like, you know, puppy love. It wasn't like, you know, just the bottom line attraction. Like, it wasn't like she was smitten temporarily. Like, it was years, and she was, you know, she was kind of deep, a little bit. But of course, again, she was also narcissistic. She was also messed up and all these other things, right? Which is weird. And it's a dichotomy. Like, how can somebody be so messed up, but also have some good qualities and also kind of love me? It's just, again, this is something that fucked me up for 5 years. This is something that took me out of my game, took me out of the dating life, almost took me out of life in general, because I was so depressed over her. But it made for a lot of learning, made for a lot of red pill knowledge and experience, made for a lot of vlogs and videos that I've made, and it made me understand modern women a lot more. So her friends didn't like me, and because of that, she ultimately made the decision to dump me. Now, again, there's a great lesson here. There's a great red pill lesson right there. Is the girl going to choose you over her friends and family? What if her friends and family don't like you? What if her parents wanted a doctor and you work at a gas station? You see, that's when we come down to the decision: is this love or not? Because if it's really love, and how many and see, we don't talk about this. There's no books about this, but how many parents don't accept the daughter's choice, and they give her a hard time, and they say, oh, he's broke, he's a loser, he's never going to amount to anything. I mean, don't you think that's horrible that a parent would be like that? You know, how many parents are actually like, we just want you to love somebody, we just want you to find love, we want you to be loved, we don't care if he's got a lot of money, you know, we would like you to be taken care of, but if he's not that guy, if he's not the provider, and you still choose him, we'll support you, and we want you to be happy. You know, how many parents are actually like that? Instead of, no, he's not a doctor, no, he doesn't have a house, no, he can't have kids with you, he can't afford kids, he can't take care of you, right? Most parents are like, the latter. They're like, no, we want you to find a good guy. And so, and this is something that I talk about a lot in my videos as well, is that parents actually encourage hypergamy. Parents encourage young women to marry and date in a long-term relationship a guy who is successful, and they encourage it, and society encourages it, and it's kind of messed up, right? It's kind of messed up. Now, is this every relationship? I don't know. You know, and there's always the flip side. There's always the converse side, which is that, well, we do need money to live. We do need to have, you know, roofs over our head. We do need to have food on the table, right? And as a man, you should work. Now, many women today work as well, and it's 50-50, and I have no problem with that, you know. But again, a man is a lot, you know, he's on the chopping block. He's a lot more expected to work and make the resources than a woman. If a woman works and makes the resources, she's not just gonna get with any guy who doesn't work or anything. But a woman really doesn't have to work. And this is, you know, I learned that in the audiobook, The Manipulated Man by Esther Villar, right? Women don't have to work. They can just live off of a man, right? So it's very important that you impress her friends and family. And this is all part of how men are like, okay, I got to go work. I got to make the money so that I can impress the woman, and I can show her I'm the man, and that I can pass all these shit tests. I can pass the family tests. I can pass the friends test. I can impress all her friends and family and keep her around. And this is all part of it. This is all part of our dating social norm. But again, I would argue that this is part of hypergamy, and this is even part of gynocentrism. Why does the man have to make all the money? Why does the man have to impress her friends and family? The woman isn't really expected to do much. And again, when this happens, when there's this kind of scenario, when there's a sexist imbalance, when the man has most of the, you know, shoulders most of the burden, right? It allows for the woman to say, hey, I don't have to do shit. Yeah, I'm a woman. I can just sit back. And this is why these women got that shit-eating grin, all these young girls, because they know all I got to be is pretty, and I won the game. I can get whatever I want. I can live on a farm if I so desire. I can live in a townhouse if I so desire. I can have men pay for my college if I so desire. I can do whatever I want, and I'm set, because all I got to be is pretty. And men, we don't have that luxury. We can't just sit back and say, oh, I won the genetic lottery. I look like Brad Pitt. I'm good. Like, I can just coast by on my looks. I don't have to do anything. No, we have to, even good looking men have to be intelligent. Even good looking men need to bring something more to the table. We need to have resources. We need to have accomplishments. A man is judged by many things: his character, his resources, the way he dresses, his accomplishments, his success, right? This is, men are judged way more than women, and women are judged just a little bit, like, okay, are you a slut, or, you know, are you a bitch? That's about it. Don't be a slut, don't be a bitch. That's it. That's all that's required of you. Be, you know, decent looking, and you're gold, right? And yet women complain that, oh, I'm so oppressed. Men are oppressed. Women have privilege. Women have a golden egg, a golden egg or a golden ticket, whatever you want to call it, right? Women have that golden ticket from day one. And that's reality, right? But I will say from my experience that, when her friends and family don't like you, it's one of the worst things that I've ever experienced. Because it's like, hey, you didn't make the cut. My friends and family do not like you. I got to cut you out of my life because I'm social, because I want to make my friends and family happy. Sorry, goodbye. And that's what happened to me. And that's a horrible thing, man. That's a sad, weird thing, because how many women have friends and family who are like in their ear, influencing them to dump their boyfriend. Oh, you can do better. He's a loser. Right? So many friends are talking shit about their girlfriends, boyfriends, right? And sometimes it's just jealousy. Sometimes maybe the guy's not that bad. Sometimes it's this or that, right? I don't know. It's a weird thing. I mean, a lot of you guys out there have this experience. That's my experience, and it hurt. It hurt a lot, and I still haven't gotten over it. But yeah, man, it's a real thing. From a red pill perspective, it's not just her. It's not just society. It's not just your boss that you have to impress. You have to impress her friends and family. You have to impress all kinds of people. This is why there's so much, not only responsibility that men have to shoulder and bear, but there's so much pressure. And this is why men commit suicide. This is why men are depressed. This is why men are lonely. Because so many of us, we just need love. We just need acceptance. We don't need to be judged. We don't need to be thrown under the bus when there's things that we can't do, or there's things that we messed up, or maybe we didn't make a good first impression, or maybe we're going through something in life. Maybe we're struggling in our life right now, and when we meet her friends and family, we don't make the best first impression, right? And then we get thrown under the bus, and then she dumps us, and it's like, that happens, man. We don't ever talk about that. Society doesn't talk about that. No books are written on that. I barely even seen it in movies or TV. It's a real thing. It happens a lot. But anyway, guys, I just want to talk about that red pill truth. Appreciate you listening. Been Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast. Peace.